Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. We're at episode 1489. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Feels like a Monday to me. It technically it is a Monday, even though I did do some work. But I was doing a little sleeping in yesterday after a long day at Annawan Fun Days, and I drove back. I got back in the early after. When did I get back? About 1, and did some shipping. How my sales? I haven't even looked at my sales. I actually did pretty well. Sunday was a lot of leftover payments from Saturday night's eBay Live. Monday, I did really well on Monday. Yesterday with no lives, so yesterday's numbers actually a little surprising. Let's see where I'm stacking up. 2025. I have not looked at these yet in the last, since probably Saturday morning. Saturday night's eBay Live. Whew. That was a good choice, man. All right. So year over year growth, we are up 89%. 89% year over year growth. My goal for the year is 40%. And I just see this number continuing to rise as I get more eBay Lives under my belt, build an audience, and keep doing that. Over 15% quantity sold increase over last year. My eBay Live sales have already outpaced my buy it nows for the year. Average sales price also up 33%. So those are numbers I like to see, and hopefully we can continue that. Another eBay Live tonight, 7 o'clock Central, 7 p.m. Central tonight. We're going to be taking requests once again. And I've got everything ready to go. I am ready to go. So, and I've kind of been on the lookout when I do take requests and people are mentioning those in the chat during the lives. I am trying to keep stock of, all right, we'll throw this in, and digging around when I go through a box. It's like, okay, this is what's selling. This is what people want. And try to build around that. So I am going to try. I've still got quite a few lots, but I'm going to try to find some more small lots to put together. Those have been fairly popular. I think a 10-card Dale Murphy lot sold for like $18, and I'm like, wow, that's $1.80 a card for Dale Murphy. There was another 10-card lot that sold for over $2 a card. So it was very happy with results on that. So. Madison Card Show is less than 2 weeks away. Now I'm starting to get nervous. Now we've got through, my trip to Florida, Annawan Fun Days, and now it's like shit. Now the next up, I've got Janesville this Saturday. So come out and see me in Janesville on Saturday. I will have 25-cent boxes galore. I'll be right at the front entrance at the Holiday Inn Banquet Center, right off the interstate, Janesville, Wisconsin. So come out and see me Saturday at the Janesville Card Show, and then the following weekend, we're 12 days away. So I'm just trying to put the finishing touches on some stuff for that. We got to put a new Facebook ad to push going into the show, and then we're good to go. Saturday, June 21st, at the Alliant Energy Center, our first show at the Alliant. 250 tables. Every table is sold out. Even all the premium tables in the atrium, everything is sold out. Waiting list, I think I'm 10, 15, at least a dozen, probably 15 dealers deep on the waiting list. So they sold out fast, sold out really fast. So I know this doesn't really impact anybody here, well, with the exception of Max. And I'll reach out to you. I'll reach out to some of my regular dealers for the Pokemon show next month. Tables will be going on sale. I'm gonna do tables a little bit differently for the online ordering, where you're just gonna order a table and I'm just gonna place you. Regular dealers will get their spots, but I'm not taking requests unless you're a regular. Just to make life easier. I think maybe if people want to request, I'll be like, all right, it's $20. If you want to pick your table, you got to pay $20 more because I have to put more work into it. So tables will go on sale for that show. I'm hoping to have that up later this week. It should be a little bit easier on the back end for me because I'm not mapping it out and all that. And I think there's a way we did this online. If there's a way to make an interactive map, I'm hoping to get that figured out if I can, figured out for the August show at the Alliant Energy Center. Max, you're still good. Yeah, you and Matthew, if you want your the tables you were at last month, you're good to go. You're good. So anybody else that's a regular that sets up with the Saturday shows, if they want their regular tables, they can have them. But the rest of the spots, I'm just gonna place people. So it was kind of a pain because people are requesting spots, and since it's a brand new slate, it's like so I'm just not gonna do that. Too much work. So I think that's that Annawan Fun Days, man. Fun Days. We had a really good turnout. So and I'm so glad that I waited to go back on Sunday. Because my eBay Live on Saturday night was the second highest eBay Live I've had on sales. It was absolutely insane. If you were in the room, some of the stuff was just flying. And it's crazy. And I think live selling is absolutely going to cause comps to be basically kind of like the old days when you had to look at a Beckett. Well, it's a month outdated because now we are so fast. It's instantaneous. Live selling is instant. And if you don't have the right buyers in the room, like live selling, like if platforms start putting comps together from Whatnot, from eBay Live, from District, from all of these live selling platforms, if those are comps, because eBay, those comps show up. If unless it's a shell listing, then it's just going to say Saturday night eBay Live. It's not going to have a specific card. But for those that are preloading cards, a Dale Murphy 10 card lot, $18, that's going to really affect comps. And I was thinking about this on my drive this weekend, and it's like the impact it can make. And one example from Saturday was at the beginning, somebody's like, do you have any Cal Raleigh? And I had people asking, this week, he's, I think, leading the league, or about a week ago he was, and I think he still might be leading the league in home runs. And so I found a bunch of Cal Raleigh rookies, and one of them sold for $21. I think it was a Donruss Clearly, unlicensed Cal Raleigh rookie card, base, not even numbered, not autographed, not a relic, just a base card, $21. The Bowmans were going for, I think the Bowmans were going for like $9 at the beginning of the show when I had people in. At the end, I ran a couple more, $1. It's like that. I mean, and that's within the same show, within maybe an hour time, because the people that wanted them were gone, and you have a different audience. You have such a completely different audience, not from show to show, from week to week, month to month, but from 1 hour to the next. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And so comps are going to be, now I'm not screwing comps up because I do mostly shell listings. So you're not going to see a Cal Raleigh show up for $21. You're going to see a Saturday night eBay Live $21 sale. You have no idea what it was unless you go back in. But I mean, with AI and how much, and here's where I think it will, in the near term, it's not going to affect anything. But as AI gets smarter, there's going to be, and it's probably already being developed, attempting to be developed, but there's going to be an app that's going to come out that's going to use AI, and it's going to crawl all of these lives, and it's going to be able to see, okay, that was a Cal Raleigh $21 sale, and it's going to be able to lump up. And it sounds futuristic, but doesn't I mean, some of the shit we can do with AI already It's like, this is some weird shit. So live selling is just going to throw comps bonkers. And in some instances, it probably already has. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I care, really. Until I have to care, until I get bit, but oh well. I'm in sales and I understand comps are a moving target. Like, and it's, it's not 1990 anymore where we have one magazine that comes out monthly with prices that are, the standard for 30 days. Now we have literally minute by minute changes in sales because, and you take a look at, Beckett was polling and Rich Klein's here. He can probably tell us how many people contributed to those prices. And now it's, it's what's crazy. It's a much larger pool. Like there's far more sales that are being reported than what were being reported in price guides back in the 80s and 90s. And we're also getting that down to the second. Something sells, we can see a comp almost instantly now. Instantly, if you're following. So it's crazy. So another eBay Live is coming up tonight, 7:00 Central. It's been the crazy thing about eBay Live from a selling standpoint has been a lot of it's almost like upside down from my expectations. Like, don't do Saturday night because that's going to be a terrible time to do an eBay Live. Don't do a Friday morning because that's going to be a terrible time. Those are, I think, last Friday morning, not this past Friday, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, was like probably my third best sale. Maybe not. No, because I've had a couple Sundays, but Friday mornings have been crazy. Saturday night, this past Saturday night was my second best, highest sales output. And the previous, I think, was Sunday singles, where it was just absolutely bonkers. So it's been a fun ride, and I look forward to continuing the ride. Let's go to the chat. It's a Monday for me. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, Unicorn Cupcake. Red Lights in the Crane. What's happening? Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Red Light says go Pacers. When was game 2 on Sunday night? What's the series at? Because I was at Front Street Tap on Sunday night. I'm sure the game was on, but playing catch up with townsfolk, NBA Finals. It's 1-1. Okay, so Sunday. 1 point win. Oh, that was game 1. Oh, that was the Halliburton shot. Thunder won Sunday, 123-107. Wins game 3 tomorrow. Boy, they really spread these games out, don't they? It's like, baseball, it's like it'd be finished. The World Series is over. It's been less than a week. It's over. Every game, every day. Boston Smoke, good morning. Kyle's in the house. What's happening? Peter's here. Good morning. Hope you had a nice time at the Fun Days. We did. Oh, I want to share a story about Fun Days. So let me bring this up. All right, let me give you a little backstory. Dave Arnold, I don't know. It's summertime for Dave, so he's probably not in the chat with us this morning. I'm going to have to Google it because I don't know when I wrote it. So Dave Arnold had a neighbor growing up in a small town in Illinois, and he had passed away. He was a collector, collected cards, memorabilia, all that stuff. So when he passed away, the widow had Dave sell off the cards and all the memorabilia and stuff. And so there was stuff that's just not really worth anything. There were a bunch of scrapbooks, and they weren't like family scrapbooks. They were sports scrapbooks, where he put high school football from the 70s and 80s. And then there were some like random programs that were inside these. and like letters, like just random stuff. Basically priceless, not worth anything. And so that's why Dave gave it to me, because he knows I'm a history nerd, especially when it came to high school sports and all that stuff. So within one of the scrapbooks, there was, and I'm going to share my screen here. So this is from 1millioncubs.com. Digging deeper, the day Marty Rice met Ernie Banks and Hank Aaron. How cool is that? So here is, this was a letter. This was inside a scrapbook, and dated July 1st, 1974, from WGN. Dear Mike, thank you very much for your kind letter. I think you can appreciate the fact that we receive hundreds of requests to meet various ball players, and it becomes an almost impossibility to handle them. However, if you will contact me or Vern Brown of my staff at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, July 6th at Wrigley Field Security Office, one of us will try to pave the way for Marty to meet some of the players. Obviously, it depends on the situation at that time, but we at least are happy to try to make an effort. Cordially, Jack Brickhouse, Vice President, Manager of Sports. P.S. Please be sure to bring this letter with you for identification purposes. So Marty in the letter is Marty Rice, who was had childhood leukemia, and he unfortunately passed away as a child. So that letter, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then there was this program. And so the neighbor wrote, like, on all these programs. It's also scored, which is really, I love scored programs. And it was really nicely scored. So Saturday, July 6th, 1974, Larry Rice, Marty Rice, Terry Rice, Mike McMillan, Billy Spencer, and I saw the game, got to meet Don Kessinger, Ernie Banks, and Hank Aaron in person and talk and take pictures of them. How cool is that? So I did a little, a little bit of, looking up, and Marty Rice benefit. He also got to meet Danny Thompson of the Minnesota Twins, who I think Danny Thompson had leukemia, and he may have passed away from leukemia, Danny Thompson. Thompson passed away in 1976. Marty Rice lost his battle sometime between 1974 and 1977. I couldn't find an obituary for Marty Rice, but so anyway, I wrote this article, this blog, back in 2018, November of 2018. And, don't think anything much of it unless I'm going through a storage tub. And I still had these items in storage tubs, Cubs stuff, in my basement. And I got a Facebook message Thursday or Friday from somebody with the last name Rice, and didn't think anything of it. And so he sent me a Facebook message. He's like, hey, just wanted to reach out here. I sent you an email last week. You know how well I am with reading emails. Not. And so I'm like, he's like, I read an article about, and it was his uncle. Marty was his uncle. Of course, he never got to meet Marty. So I read the email, and he's like, we've never heard this story. His dad was one of the people that were on that trip. He's passed away. His grandpa, the dad of Marty, and his dad, he's passed away. The neighbor who lined this all up, he's passed away. Apparently the Billy is still alive, and they know who he is. And so they're going to reach out to him because he's the only one that see if he has any memory of it, because they didn't know anything about it. So he reached out, and he's like, he'd never heard the story. Our family, we've got stuff from the Danny Thompson. Like, we knew that happened, but we never knew anything about the Cubs game. He's like, we would love to purchase the items from you. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to charge the family for this. So I said, absolutely not. I will give these back to the family. That's where they belong. And he lives not far from where I grew up, close to Annawan, and about a half an hour away. And I said, I'm actually going to be in Annawan Sunday. So we're having a cookout at my house, at my mom's house. Here's the address. I'll bring the stuff. So I got to meet him and his mom, and his mom's like, my husband never told me that he went to a Cubs game and got to meet Ernie Banks and Hank Aaron. So they're just absolutely dumbfounded that they had never heard of this story before. And they're going to, try to do more investigating with people. It obviously wasn't the Danny Thompson that made it to the newspaper, but the Cubs game never made it to the newspaper. So they're going to reach out. The one living person that was at the game is still in their area. And so they're going to reach out. And I said, please follow up, because I'd love to hear if you find out more information. I would love to hear what happened. So glad that could, get back in the hands of the family, and, hopefully they can put the puzzle together and find out more about the Cubs game and meeting Ernie Banks, Hank Aaron, Don Kessinger. So that was a fun part of Fun Days. Dale is in the house. Good morning. Saturday was a blast. Oh, the eBay. Yes. Saturday night, eBay Live. Zach wants to know if he needs a real ID to get in. No, which I still need to get my real ID. My wife's going to kill me because I still haven't gone to the DMV. David, what's going on? Good morning. Max is good. Gem City, good morning. Salty Bo after a weekend of fun, or brat filled? I'm brat filled. No, I'm good. I'm refreshed now. I'm nice and refreshed and ready to tackle a new week. Kyle says 5-star Matt text that my PSA order from January Madison Card Show is back. Looking forward to having cards in hand. Hey, yeah, my autographs. Remember, glad you brought this up because I don't think I mentioned this, but remember in also this was I submitted in January as well at the January Madison Card Show, and I also received a message there back, and so this is from, remember the Beloit auction? And I think I did a live. I think I may have shown some of the stuff off during during Hobby Evolution. But I ended up, and then I picked those, the items I won, I picked them up on my way to the Cubs convention in January. And a lot of what I bid on were like basically in-person or TTM autographs, which you're taking a really big gamble. Buying autographs from an auction that are not, and they were obviously not authenticated. So, and a lot of them were just like random commons that were selling for like sold for like $5-10, Nate McMillan, random stuff like that. So, I ended up submitting 5 autographs. Only 2 came back authenticated. So, disappointed. But am I really surprised? Not really. And here's the funny thing. I had them at Cubs convention because I picked them up that day. And a good buddy of mine, Adam from Bridgeport Hobby, he's a big grapher. And so he was hanging out, and I said, what do you think? And so the 5 that I submitted were Drew Brees rookie card, which is probably, and I'll probably do that as a buy it now in my eBay store. Because I don't think I'll get, I'm learning there's different items that sell really well on eBay Live, and then there's others that just stay away from that stuff. And I'm learning quickly, which is good. So the Drew Brees is definitely something I'll put as a buy it now. However, on the other side, there's I think it was David Robinson. The David Robinson autograph did come back authenticated. That's something I probably will put on eBay Live. And then the 3 that came back not questionable authenticity was Karl Malone and both Deion Sanders. So my friend Adam, I said, what do you think? He said, Drew Brees is definitely good. He said, David Robinson is definitely good. He goes, these Deons don't look good. And he basically went 5 for 5. He's like, I don't know about the Karl Malone. He goes, it looks good, but he rarely signs. He's like, I don't know if that'll come back authentic. So he basically nailed every single one of them. So Drew Brees, David Robinson came back authentic. The Deons came back questionable authenticity, and so did the Karl Malone. So, I may submit them somewhere. Maybe I'll send them. I'm not going to send them to Beckett. I'll probably just, I don't know, keep them in a, well, I don't want to, this is the thing. When you have items of questionable authenticity, like, I guess the best thing to do is just rip them up and throw them away. Right. But then you don't know, I don't always trust autograph authentication. I'll leave them in the sleeve that says questionable authenticity, but you never know if they get thrown in a box, in a bulk box, somebody takes them. Ooh, I'm going to sell this. So many things can happen. I don't know. What would you do? I'll tell you what I probably will do. I'll just end up throwing them in a box with the questionable authenticity. That's what I'm going to end up doing. But I don't know. I don't always believe. I mean, I've often, especially after I did the Beckett quick opinion, I've wanted to submit. I should submit my Pete Crow Armstrong to Beckett quick opinion, because I got it in person after a game and see if it comes back. I'm going to do that. I'm going to piss away $10. Let's put Beckett quick opinion to something that I actually got signed in person and see if it comes back. I'll piss away $10 on that. Porter says, just popping in to say hi to Bo and the fellas. Have a great day. Thank you, sir. Max says, that's wild. Dan says, hey. Orlando, what's going on? Uncle Rich, good morning. Hit that like button. Sub to the content. Zach says, my guess is the buyers don't want those outliers out there to see how much they overspent. Same reason casinos use chips and not cash. If they used cash, cut the spending in half. Good point. Max says, beautiful world when people start to think outside the box and not just do what we are told or what's gospel. 608 Sports Cards, what's going on? Good morning. SoCal guy in the house, what's happening? Orlando says, not many hockey fans here, but go Panthers. Yeah, I think the Stanley Cup is going on right now too. I couldn't tell you who's in it. Apparently the Florida Panthers are. I don't know who they're playing. Max says, sorry, gotta disagree. Need to see McDavid win. So whoever McDavid plays for is playing the Panthers in the Stanley Cup. A Glove and Beyond says, go Panthers. Orlando says, McDavid is the best hockey player, but Panthers are a great team, great series so far. Shane says, that hockey game was a shit show last night. 140 total penalty minutes. Brian Silva's in the house. Good morning. Max says, plus you won last year. Go Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers. Only reason to cheer for Florida is U.S.-based, LOL. Philly Joe says, great story. Search and Rescue, good morning. I set up this weekend at the Midwest Monster and had a blast. Awesome. Mark's in the house. Good morning. Red Light says, no, don't throw them away. Sell them to me. Dan says, are you still collecting miscellaneous Cubs magazines and the other stuff? No, not real. I mean, yes, no. I really need to stop buying random Cubs stuff, because what happens is I put them in a storage tub, and then every once in a while I get them out and I go, like, I was collecting Vineline magazines, and I'm like, I want to put the Vineline magazine run together, and I've got years and years of Vineline magazines. And I every once in a while, I'll grab one and read through it. But it's just such a waste of money to buy this stuff. And then it sits in storage. So, and magazines are the worst. Magazines are the worst. During COVID, my hobby away from my hobby was wrestling. I was collecting the Pro Wrestling Illustrated run. And guess what? I actually would read, some of those as they came in, but sometimes I'd buy a whole bunch of them and, set them in a storage tub. And then it's got to a point where it's like, okay, I don't want these anymore. And I have been selling them, and they've actually been moving slowly but surely. I think I just shipped one out the other day. I should probably do the same thing with Vine Line. Just set it at a price that I'm comfortable selling at, and I'm probably can move them at a snail's pace, but oh well. Mark says, when buying TTM, I consider 50 to 60% are real. This is also the case on the large auto lot I was telling you about. Interesting. Search and Rescue says, take it to the National, have JSA look at it. Oh, that's a good thought. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have because I'm not going to send it to Beckett. Yes, JSA would be a good one. Dead Dude from Duryea says, what's up? Would you be an autograph signer for fans, or would you keep pop counts low? I would be a signer. 902 Vintage, what's going on? I have sent in-person autos to PSA that have failed and resent a second or third time and finally passed. You're paying for someone's opinion who was not there. I agree. Max says, dude, every athlete should be spit shining our shoes. The guys that don't sign are just sad humans. Dan says, okay, other than cards, what else do you like to buy other than bobbleheads that can be displayed? What's the future of the ball wall? So basically the ball wall is kind of static. Like I've got some stuff that I need to, replace. And basically replace because I've got like better, I've got a Sammy Sosa ball now. So the Sammy Sosa ball needs to go onto the ball wall. And maybe Steve Traxel can exit, stuff like that. So I haven't really touched the ball wall, and I haven't been getting baseballs signed. I've been just doing cards, basically because I ended up filling the ball wall, and guess what? I have a storage tub full of autographed baseballs sitting in my basement, and I started selling those off, and I just sold one. Who did I sell? Christian Donahue, I think, some random, which I understand because I, will go out and buy random players like Christian Donahue autographs. So I'm not really actively collecting autograph baseballs, but I am doing, when I get autographs, it's on cards. So I'm kind of just going back to my, the cards, it's all about cards for me. Now, if I see something cool, I'll buy it. I'm kind of at the point where I want it to be, I don't want to just buy, oh, here's a bunch of Vine Line magazines. I don't want to do that because they're just going to sit in storage. If I buy something, I want it to be displayable or just unique. I've got some really unique stuff that's not on display, but, I'm not going to get rid of it. Basically, it's just cards. And I haven't bought many Cubs cards this year. I guess I have at like card shows, but I think I've only bought one card on eBay this year. Oh, I bought this wasn't eBay, but on Facebook, I bought those Cubs season ticket holder sets. And that's something I'll probably, because I've got duplicates of some of them now, I'll throw on my buy it now section. Because I don't think that's another thing that eBay Live oddball stuff does not sell well. Sports Illustrated for kids cards, nothing. That's buy it now stuff. So yeah, it's mainly cards, mainly just cards. Zach says, Dan Bo likes the buy fishing poles, e-bikes, etc. to be purchased and used for display purposes only. Hey, speaking of fishing poles, I bought some bait this weekend. So at some point I'll be taking the fishing pole. I've got to do some more. I went down there yesterday and need to weed whack it a little bit more, but I'll be heading down to the pond at some point, do a little fishing. Card Safari says magazines are about to take off later this year. Once PSA opens their grading service, people are foaming at the mouth to have something new to grade. David says PCA will be at the National. He can tell you if it's authentic or not. And I actually may. I've got that giant Topps Now card. I'm thinking about getting tickets for PCA to get the giant Topps Now card autographed. So we'll see. Dad Dude from Duryea says, I agree with you. They can be dicks. Max says people actually display their collections. Oops. Sometimes. So that's what I had for today. Tonight, eBay Live. We're taking requests, baseball, football, basketball. I've got some slabs left. I've got some lots left. I found a new sourcing for eBay Live. And I bought about 100 slabs last week. And I'm hoping, put these here. I'm hoping that they arrive this week. It's kind of a slow ship, but I'm hoping that they arrive. So we'll see. I'm itching to buy more, but I really want to wait and see how this does. And I actually since I bought them online, I have a much better, idea of, okay, made money on this, didn't make money on that. But so far with what I have been sourcing for slabs, I've been doing well. And hopefully that continues with what I bought. I bought some good stuff. I even bought a vintage slab, a Clemente. What else? A bunch of Jordans, some Mahomes, 80s stuff, modern stuff, some good stuff. So, and I'll be sourcing this Saturday at the Janesville Card Show. So I'm really hoping those slabs come in this week, just because, I run out of I don't run out of inventory, but it's like, I want to keep selling on eBay Live what people want, because that keeps them coming back. If all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's 100 stale items that haven't sold out of my Buy It Now store. And it's like, well, this show sucks. So, but finding those items, like, who knew Dale Murphy would have been a big seller? And I've done really well on Dale Murphy. So, in Braves. And I think that's just because of the buyers that are in the stream. There's multiple Braves fans. So when there's multiple people wanting the same thing, you get a bidding war. Glove and Beyond is looking forward to tonight's eBay Live. See you tonight, 7 p.m. Central on eBay Live. I've got to get that event set up. So looking forward to that. We'll be back tomorrow morning, probably around the same 8 o'clock. Well, yeah, probably about the same time tomorrow, because I'll probably be on eBay Live until about 10:30, and that's past my bedtime. So probably be a late night. I've stayed up till midnight like 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks, which is I don't even stay up till midnight on New Year's. So that's crazy talk. But hey, when we're having fun on eBay Live, I'll stay up till midnight. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. In the Buy It Now section, you can buy 7 or more cards at regular price, or items, whatever is in my eBay store. 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout, 99centcards.com. And of course, tonight, 7 p.m. Central for eBay Live. Dat Dude from Duryea says Dale Murphy has sold well for me. Hall of Fame speculation still there. I think so. And I think Dale Murphy will end up getting in. I think he will end up in one of these committees. We'll put him in. 7 o'clock tonight, p.m. Central Time, eBay Live. See you then. Have a great day.